Podcast starts at 19 seconds.
Welcome to a new episode of Fit the Description, a Black Men's podcast, where various Black men come together to talk about life, society, entertainment, culture, news, and whatever else we want to talk about from various Black men's perspectives. I'm your host, G, and today we got Keys.
Yo.
And others will join in at a later time throughout the podcast. So, with that being said, just want to let y'all know, with the changes that happened to Patreon, and I'm hoping it will happen in January. But for all that stuff that we talked about the cut content and people want to bring it out, well, we're finally going to do it. We're finally going to bring out the cut content on our Patreon. Now, mind you, yes, there is going to be a fee. It's going to be small. You know, it will be about $5. But if you pay $5, you'll get access to the actual podcast, uncensored, uncut, of things we cut out of past episodes. Now, the thing that we're talking about is how we want to release them, but that will be coming very soon, hopefully next year. The goal is to have them start coming out in January because we're gone in January. So to hold y'all over, we may release it in January, but I'm still trying to get things figured out, and I'm still trying to figure out how we want to release it. But it is now currently being worked on, and hopefully by January, we will start releasing the uncut, the uncensored, the stuff that we basically cannot release on YouTube, or that's a little too risky to be on the internet without it being checked. It will be on the Patreon. So, yeah, if you guys want to check that out, make sure to go to the Patreon, and you'll get exclusive episodes that were cut out from the actual podcast. So, beyond that, we are also, like I said before, we are also on Spotify. We also actually joined a new app called Wisdom. And just so you know what that app is, it's basically, I'm still trying to figure it out, but it seems like it's a talk app. But what I actually do on that app is I basically go out and ask a bunch of people random questions and they answer it. So if you just want to hear, because people send us questions, we go out, we find random people, they answer it, and it's just right there on the Wisdom app. So if you want to check it out, go to our page, OPN on Wisdom, and you can hear some of the responses to people have for various different questions. Now, again, I'm still kind of trying to figure that app out, but it seems like it's pretty cool, pretty fun. And I do plan on doing a live discussion there soon, just to kind of tell y'all who we are. So because we need one of those, but make sure to check that out. But beyond that, we're on various different podcast platforms. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, what else? Amazon, and just various others. Anchor is a big one, which is affiliated with Spotify. But, you know, check all those out. The links will all be down below. And before we get started with the podcast, make sure to check out the Clips channels too. I worked hard on that channel. I love that channel. And I understand that these podcasts can be pretty long. So if you want a condensed down version of the podcast, go ahead and go to the Clips channel and you'll get little cut out parts of the entire podcast. But all the links on there will be down below too. So make sure to check that out. And beyond this super long opening that I just did, we're going to go ahead and get started with the podcast. Okay. Well, we got a new entry in here that just arrived. Mr. James D. Evans.
I didn't just arrive. I've been here for a minute.
Are you serious?
Yep. I'm listening to your conversation. Come ahead.
Oh, I didn't know you were here for a minute. My bad. Okay, fair enough.
What's up, man? You gotta talk.
We gotta talk.
No, I say you gotta talk because you ain't been on.
Yeah, but I'm remote.
Right.
I'm setting up for the LA Auto Show.
Oh snap.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, like I said, press day is tomorrow.
Oh, the LA Auto Show is back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Starts Friday, so I'll be there Friday to
Oh, you
just
pay
count
for
10 days.
you pay for a booth?
Yeah, my company does it. Well, I get hired all the time to do those booths.
Mm.
So I'll be in and out of 2 different booths.
Well, what is your part in it?
What's up?
What's your part in it?
I'm an event coordinator.
Mm.
I build the booths, I make sure they run smooth, and then tear them down.
Oh,
Supply
okay.
cars, and yeah, talk to customers, and do all that stuff.
How you feel about my my blog that I posted about Black Panther? Mr. James.
Well, whatever.
I don't think B saw it. I said, how do you feel about my blog that I posted about Black Panther?
Yeah, yeah, it was
I
cool. I read
told
it.
you he wanted to start drama.
I read it. No, we ain't gonna start that drama on here. That's. I mean, yeah, yeah.
He just wanted to start drama. I was like, I'm not even, I'm low key not even prepared to talk about it because it's been a minute since I'm like, my head space is not on it no more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's difficult for me to be like, um,
Wakanda forever.
yeah, I think I put that at the top of this.
Wakanda forever.
I think I put it at the top just because he's just because. Oh gosh, it's been so long. But I actually, what's funny is I actually implemented some research and stuff with it. Some, not nothing major. Just
Water.
just a few little things I looked up to kind of give it some meaning. I kept thinking about that question is what did it do for the black community? What did it do for the black community? What did it do for the community? So that kept running in my head. So I just started writing one day and I said, maybe I should put this on there. And I said, just to mess with James, I'm gonna put Wakanda Forever at the top.
Mm-hmm. What's up, man?
Huh?
Oh, here we go.
What'd you say?
Nothing. G got the damn thing up there.
Oh Lord, I don't even know where it was. That's the sad part. I'm sitting here trying to look for it so I can remember. Oh God.
It's just for the audience since the audience has no idea what you're talking about. So I just wanted to put up there for the audience.
Oh God, they're not gonna read that. You know how long that thing is?
Yeah, but at least they have an idea.
Yeah.
So you
I
guys
was just
just so you guys ain't just talking over people's heads.
well, it was a big step for me. I don't do a lot of writing. Well, at least not a lot of public writing. So it was hard for me to even do that. It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I'm trying to accomplish like all fear, like my fears, except jumping out of a plane. I'm not doing that. But everything else, everything else, I'm running at. Anything that's not gonna jeopardize the people I take care of or jeopardize my life, I'm most definitely running towards it. And public writing is something that I keep trying to push myself to do. Doing this podcast, talking where other people can hear all that stuff. All this stuff is just running towards failure. You know, not being scared to fail. Yeah, but
Well,
yeah,
good for you, bro.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever, you know. I mean, anybody else gonna feel this? No.
How you see it, B? How you feel about it?
I got to read the thing. I don't know.
Oh, okay, never mind. I told you it was too
Damn.
long, bro. I just feel I'll just say like this. I'm looking at I kind of remember some of it. Basically what I was trying to say is that what I felt that it did add to the culture wise. I get it. White men probably got a grip of money, whatever. But it made awareness that a black superhero can be lucrative. Um, and it's not the first time that it's happened. Um, but it's more proof. It's proof in the pudding that we're worth something, and I like that aspect of it. I like that it put a lot of actors and actresses together. Some that have been and hadn't done any major work in a while that were really good actors, and and the fact that they did have a predominantly black cast that was pretty cool, and a lot of headliners and a lot of people with a lot of history with acting. I thought that was cool. Um, I like the fact that a little kid can look at this and say, I don't have to draw like well me I did it from a creative perspective because I'm like growing up you'll see Dragon Ball Z, Superman or whatever, and you'll start liking it. Then you don't see you. So what do? You draw a black Goku. B was mentioning it something about drawing other people's characters earlier. But anyway, you draw a black Goku, you draw a black Superman, and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's like you're just taking their character and making them black. But now with Black Panther or even Blade, it's like okay, it's an actual black, it's a black hero. You know, now I got a different perspective. Now my creative juices can start running because like I can look beyond what I see. I can see our different African culture within the Black Panther film, and I can say, "Oh, I like that pattern. Oh, I like that style." Because when it comes to like artistically, like with anime, what's appealing to in anime is that the culture that they put within their art, you know, with their clothing and different stuff like that. And I know growing up, for me, when I would make characters, they had the same jeans, t-shirts, and wave cap because that's all I saw, and that's the culture that was around me. But then the kid, I imagine the kid now looking at Black Panther, and they see all these African pattern clothing and different things of their culture, and they can say, and now because it is a black superhero, they're paying more attention, and they can say, "Oh, I like that," and I can kind of come up with my own thing from that. You know, supposed to when they don't see themselves, it's like whatever. You know, they're not fully paying attention, but they'll talk about you know, it may make them pay more attention with the fact that that superhero looks like me. That villain that villain looks like a bully that I've seen in school. You know, that queen looks like a girl I like. You know, they see themselves. You know, just like when we had a black president, it's like, oh, now I feel like it is possible for there to be a black president. You know, maybe I can make my own black superheroes or universe within my culture. I just feel like it just opened the eyes and opened the doors to a lot of potential if they keep it right. You know. Now I don't know about this new film. I haven't even seen any previews. I'm just going off of when we got the first one in there. You know. like that, you know, and it's been constantly proven that these black films in this universe is a staple, and and we are finally getting a little bit more recognition, you know. Even Blade, if you go back to Blade, if it wasn't for Blade, we wouldn't have the Marvel universe of movies that we have today. You know, we wouldn't even have it. It wouldn't even be there because before that, comic book movies was BS. You know, there were childish, there were kiddie, they were they were crap for the most part. It broke a lot of barriers. Also, being a rated R superhero movie. You know, they didn't do that. They didn't do that again until Deadpool. You know, um, so it's like I just see that, you know, that film kind of brung a lot, you know, and I know you know, James was getting on community this and stuff like that, and that's a touchy subject too, but I still felt that the film just got a lot of juices rolling, and put people to look at things in a different perspective, you know. And I did my whole little thing from a creator's perspective because I'm a creator. And so I think about my childhood a lot. So thinking about my childhood, thinking about culture, and having a film that has more culture, especially if you don't have people around you or people in your family or in your community, like James have mentioned, that's showing you these things, that's teaching you these things, which is very important. But now you see this film, and it's like, okay, my juices is rolling down, and my juices is rolling, and I see that I can be this and I can be that. I can create this and I can create that. You know, it just puts your mind in a different atmosphere. You know, because these people look like me. Now I'm paying attention. That's pretty much kind of what was in there, what it was about. So you don't have to like read word for word out, you know, similar. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. How I, you know, basically how the different ways for how I feel it was good for the community or for the culture rather, because I think that was your argument about how it was good for the culture and what did it do? What did it do for the community? I believe those were the questions you were asking at the time.
Anybody gonna field this?
I'm waiting. I just keep. I guess the more nervous
uh,
you go, Mister B, man. I don't like your big. But go ahead. I'm ready.
I just want to say before we start, I'm staying out this one. I told y'all I'm
No, you
waiting.
better not. You made me bring it up, so you
No,
is
I didn't
not
make you
staying
bring
out.
up anything.
No, you
You're the
made
one
me
who
bring
brought
it
it
up.
up. No, no,
No,
no.
you did.
Because
Come
I
on,
comes,
man.
but I
You
will bring
get
it
in
up.
it.
Huh?
I'm chiming you in.
Remember that post was not directed to me.
Uh,
So remember, you did
Mister.
not direct that to me.
But B, what do you think?
all right. So if you're looking at it in the sense where, you know, the artistic style and looking at it as an artist or what you, I guess that's what he's trying to say. You know, okay, I get that, but it's just a movie. You know, is entertainment. So
Right.
at the end of the day,
And I did mention that in there. I mentioned that it's don't get it
if you
twisted.
say
It's a
change
fictional.
culture, and
Yeah, but I also
no,
put in
no,
there don't get it twisted. This is fictional. I put that in there. But go ahead.
yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think it did anything to change the culture at all. It's just like I said, it's just entertainment. So the first week you have people like, yeah, cool, Wakanda forever, blah 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 blah. It's not happening now.
Right.
I'm not.
Well, there's some, but I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
Well, and so it's like that a simple fictional movie. That's not
Right, but my thing is how many fictional movies inspired other anime artists? How many movies and shows inspired people to create uh different characters, whether it be comic books, film, whatever. Like these films, it builds that creativity. That's why I said I was looking at it from a creative perspective, because I remember because I was one of those kids that grew up and didn't have any influences. So I was saying like, a lot of my influences I got from looking at my surroundings and shows that I was into. Like I said, at one point I was drawing a Black Goku or whatever the case may be, but it didn't see me. And I was just saying so far from a creative perspective because they used, even though it was a fictional place, and a lot of stuff in the film was based off of different um, African culture with patterns and the animals that they chose to highlight different things of that nature. I felt like it just put you in a different realm of thinking because you're paying attention because it looks like me. I feel the same way about Miles Morales Spider Man. It's like, okay, now finally the black kids have some they have more options and more things to look at to get those creative juices going. That's what I mean by like for culture wise and being from a creative perspective and being able to put that into their creativity and getting their juices rolling and you know, feeling like they could create something like that, you know, or and they could be a actor and be a heavy hitter superhero, and it's not just the Supermans. But I remember growing up, for me, it was just the Supermans and the Batmans, and that's all you saw.
but but yeah, but as a career as well. I've always I didn't need to see other. Yeah, I'm just talking as an individual. I can't talk as a whole. But like how you say you started drawing black Goku's and stuff. You're eventually going to start creating your own characters which are black. You
Right.
know, but you know, but my thing is, you know, let then let those, if we're talking in the creative sense, then let those people who do
I,
characters and stuff like let
okay,
them
you
start
went
getting
you
to
went you went
shine.
blank. I couldn't hear
All
you.
that money, all that Panther. I mean, that's cool. We got we got a character who's black, right? But at the end of the day, we're none of us see none of that money.
Right.
That's Disney,
But that's
you know.
the whole thing. I'm not looking at it just from if every situation is always people always put money out there, and I guess money is an important factor, but I don't feel money is everything. I feel like money is an important factor, but I put as money everything. But if you want to go towards money, I say okay, a lot of black out of work actors got they got they due diligence, from this film. Possibly started also started some actors' careers. Also put other actors in a different tax bracket. Maybe they wasn't the major one, but they it still helps some, people, and those people can go back to their communities if they do. If they don't, I don't know. That's not. I haven't done that much research, but I'm just saying they're valuable now. You know, they're more valuable. They were in a big film. When you're in a big film and you win awards, that's like having a degree in acting world. That means now they have to pay you X amount of dollars to be in a film. You know, that stuff is a big deal too. I was just saying so far as I don't feel it was nothing. I don't feel it was. Um, I forgot it was something specific that James had said. And I can't remember right now. But I was just saying so far as culture wise, that's what I felt it did provide something. I felt it did provide some value. I disagree with it not providing anything. Yes, we need to work on our communities. Yes, you need people doing other things. But this was just a fun movie, and I felt like I said, it makes a if you go for youngsters, it makes them look at stuff in a different light, especially the ones who don't have influence around them, you know. But I don't, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I don't know I don't know how you grew up, so it's a little different. It might be a little different from you. I grew up pretty alone. Go ahead, James.
Hey, bro, I ain't saying nothing, dog. I'm really trying to hold my tongue right now, man.
Hey, look, I was told to keep pushing you because you gonna try not to say nothing. So
Is that what?
that's what I'm doing right now.
Bro, it ain't gonna be pretty, dog. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna be pretty. Here, how about I just do this?
What'd he do? He put mute.
Yep. I told you if you want him to answer it, you ain't.
Can't do it, bro. Sorry, can't do it, man. What would be the point, man? He's really like, I don't know. He feels a certain way about this. I don't want to break his little spirits. You know what I'm saying?
Oh gosh.
I mean, so I'll just say this: if you don't want to get your heart broken, man, I would tell you straight up, man, just let it go.
Really, bro, it's gonna be bad.
I want to know what I'm saying is I want to take money out the factor.
Yeah.
And
Oh no. I wouldn't have nothing to do with money, bro. It's not gonna end up pretty.
because that's my whole thing too. A lot of times people just base it off base it off of money and stuff like that. And then also people get confused and feel like it was supposed to be part of Black Panther movement, and that is not the case. If you go back to the comics, you know it was made around the time, and because Marvel didn't want to actually be involved in that, they almost called him the Leopard or something like that. They did it in one of his comics. They were they were thinking about changing the name to Leopard.
Hole.
You know, it was Leopard or something like that.
He is digging
Yeah,
a hole. Oh,
yeah.
he is digging
I
a
don't know.
hole.
I don't know. Do you remember the first comics?
What, the original Black Panther comics?
Yeah.
I actually think I saw it. I don't think it was because of that. I think it was a legal issue why they were about to change the name.
Well, I don't know. The research I was doing when I was writing that thing, I know they were saying that they were trying to steer away from that, and steer away from that movement because all the
Oh yeah, from the Black
controversy.
Panther. Yeah, from the Black
Yeah,
Panther.
yeah,
They were.
from all the controversy that was going on with the
Yeah,
Black Panther movement,
yeah.
and they were going and like when the movie came out, people confused the two. Like even my brother-in-law, he was like, man, they should have had the Black Panther leaders in the movie. It's like, bro, it's not about the Black Panther movie. This is a fictional character in a fictional world. Like this is not about that.
I mean, let me ask you, how do you think they made it? How do you think
Huh?
they came up? How do you think they came up with the name?
How they think they came up with the name?
Yeah. How
Oh,
do you think?
oh no, no, no! I have it. Hold on.
You have it?
I think I still have it. That's not the same one I saw.
What does it say?
It was Black Panther helper from from another hero, but this is not the one. Oh God! It was an interview. It was an interview with Stan Lee where he was talking. And I wrote it down. I can't find it.
Okay, don't worry about it. I'll just put it
Yeah,
like I'll just put it out like this. The Black Panther was not inspired by the Black Panther Party, like some people like to say. I
yeah,
can't
that's
remember.
what I know that much.
Yeah, I'm not talking to you. Talking to the
Okay,
audience, man.
okay,
But no, the Black Panther. I can't remember exactly what it did, but the big thing is that the Black Panther was not created through the Black Panther Party. They were created around the party and the Black Panther kind of, I guess they were around the same time, but it was just honestly just a coincidence why
yes,
that
yes,
happened. Yeah,
I do remember that them saying that for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. It's just a random coincidence. So
Right, but I forgot how it was something specific. How he was talking about how he got his name in the interview, and I can't remember. And then also Stan Lee was trying to draw. He was trying to take away the barrier so far when it comes to like black black people blacks are being diverse in the comics. He was open about that in a few interviews.
yeah, he was trying to change the barriers.
Yes, yes,
He was
yeah.
trying to break the barriers. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Right. Yeah, like I said, I spent like a long time looking up stuff and writing up notes and different things of that nature. But it's that's why I said I wasn't really prepared to bring it up today because it's not I'm not in the headspace of it. But I'm just trying right now. I'm just trying to force it. Yeah, but I'm willing to take the smoke. Or to say I ain't scared. But I just like I say, I just look at it from a creative perspective because I just remember being that 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 kid, that deep thought kid that didn't like the idea that I didn't really see a lot of us on in my cartoons and in my shows and stuff like that. And like I said, I tried to make my own, but I made my own based off of what was around me, which is half of my characters look gangster. And it's even now it gets hard for me to get away from that just from out of what I'm used to. Things become habit for me. So
But habits do create money. I mean, look at Mr. Cartoon.
yeah,
Mr. Cartoon is one of the most amazing artists. I mean, I've seen his work in person, and that stuff is amazing. But that's all that was around, and he'll tell you it's all that was around. He wasn't
right,
drawing nothing else, but he got so good at it that people, wanted him to, do art,
right,
his type of art.
right.
But I mean,
Yeah, and I was like that too. I used to draw clowns and shit because that same for the same reason.
mhm.
I didn't know any meaning behind the stuff. I just know people was drawing clowns. Everybody thought it was cool, so I would just draw clowns, and then those clowns turned into when Tommy the Clown started coming around. I started drawing clowns towards that.
But I
Um,
mean, the oh my god. I mean,
Go
yeah,
ahead,
but
man.
it's just I don't know, dog. Like,
You don't got to get too deep. You can say something.
well, I mean, that's just it though. What you're trying, what that's the problem. You're like, oh, you don't have to get too deep, but with the conversation that you're trying to have, it has to be deep because you, if you're taking the money equation out of it, which I wasn't even going to go into, and you're just talking about the culture, and you're saying, oh my God, Black Panther did this and this for the culture because it's positive, because it's Black heroes and blah, blah, blah. Okay. I mean,
And the African references that they use in the movie.
yeah, but you're talking about a fictional character that was made in a movie that people are like, this is going to change everything. When that was a comic book years ago.
Right.
And not only that, so basically,
Everything was a comic book years ago, though.
but
Not true, Joe. Not true. But please keep
so
going.
I'm not saying everything. I'm saying all of these superhero movies too. You know what I
so
mean?
so
I'm not
basically,
not in a literal sense.
Okay. We got it. Go ahead, James.
so basically, what you're telling me is that Black people are stupid.
Oh shit.
Elaborate.
X-Men, Superman, Batman, all of these turned into movies, and I've never heard a white person say that motherfucker changed the culture. But the Black Panther
Of
comes
course,
out,
of
and
course
you're
not.
like, "That's it." Why? But why?
Of course not.
It was a
Okay,
comic book before. If it was gonna change the culture, you mean to tell me no Black kids ever got comic books?
dude. Of course not. If you go to Africa, you're no longer a black kid. You're just a kid because there's
What does that got
black
to do with
people.
it? What does that got
Okay,
to do with what we're talking
but
about? What does that
what
have to
you
do with the price of tea in China?
no, because what you just said, right? What you just said. Why would they feel like that? They're all white. Well, that's my point. Like they're all white, so don't know it wouldn't change the culture. Why would it change any culture? Why would it change? They don't have to worry about changing the culture. They're all white. That's why I said like that's why I brought up
Yes.
if a black kid go to Africa, he's no longer a black kid. He's just a kid.
But what you're telling me is that once Black Panther was turned into a movie and people could watch it and not have to read a book, all of a sudden it's a game changer. And all of a sudden now people are like, "Oh my god, this person is just like me." When they could have just picked up a fucking book, 20 years ago and been
Very,
like,
very true. But how many kids past the 2000s are really there's not a lot of kids that are interested in reading comic books the way they were back then. There's
"Bet."
not a lot of kids interested in reading period the way they were back then. So a lot of them is you got your social medias and you got your movies and your films and stuff like that. You got short attention spans. You
Okay,
got
so okay. Let's run this back then. So things for the culture. Okay, we got the Cosby Show. We got Different World. Both positive Black shows, TV
mhm,
shows that anybody could watch and say, "Oh my goodness, I can be a doctor. I can be a lawyer. I could go to college." That's what they were. Do you understand that Different World was going to get canceled after the first season? Because they didn't want to hear what young Black people had to say.
right.
But these are shows that are, staples in the community.
Very true.
But
I
you're
agree.
telling me that
I agree with that.
that a fictional damn country of is changing the culture, but these shows were nothing because again, it didn't make you look and say, "This is what I want to do. This is what I want to be." But
No,
then this cartoon comic book character is going to be like, "Yeah, I could do that."
no, I say they both can coexist. Black Panther is just a fun fictional film, just like you have serious white films and you have fun fictional white films. It's just a fun fictional film that can get the juices rolling. I'm not saying it's like, oh, I'm gonna take the life lessons from this film. No.
But
It's
that's
it's
what you're saying.
no, I'm not saying life lessons. I'm saying that it gets the juices rolling so far as creativity wise, and the creative spirit of it, and they see they're paying more attention to it because it's okay. Like when they start paying attention to the presidency because we had a black guy in there. It wasn't because of what he did or who he was. It was the fact that, oh my God, I could be president too because we have a black president.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
so what I'm saying is like because of the Black Panther coming out the way it did and they're making such a big deal of it the way it did, I feel that it can show it, I felt like it was a fun way. It was a fun way to spread the culture, to get the creative juices rolling, to see heroes in a different light so far as from a creative spectrum. And like you said, yeah, they could read a book, but a lot of these kids may not uh, read a book or just be honest, they may not even have the interest.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just keep it 100. Most of them is leaning towards animation, and different things of that nature because that's where the world has went. That's where the world has went to. They
But
still have people like me who like to go to comic shops, but you have a lot of kids that's the last thing on their mind. They
okay.
they have no interest. They might not read Superman comic, but they'll watch Superman movie. They you know
Mhm.
they won't read Avengers, but they'll watch the movie.
Mhm.
So that's all I'm saying. Like, you get to different kids in different ways. Some kids you can get to them, but my daughter's like that. On her birthday, she wanted to go to Barnes and Noble, and that's where I took her.
Yeah. But
My
you do
son,
you do also understand to the point you were making, having a black president kind of hurt the black community a little bit more than it helped.
elaborate.
Like you said, a lot of people wanted to go out and support because there was a black president, correct?
Right,
None of them really gave a shit about what policies he was putting in place, what the hell he was going to do. They just voted for him because he was black, right?
right. Very
And
true.
they said he's about to change the black community, right?
Another true statement.
But he was literally trying to do good. That didn't mean just for the community, but for everybody.
Correct.
So a lot of people got turned off to that. You do understand white people elected him the second time, not blacks. Look at the charts on where he was winning at. It was white people that were fucking voting for this dude in the second election.
Right.
So now
But
people are like, they don't want to vote at all.
But it's like kind of like with Ari Spears with his it was a joke, but Ari Spears made a good point, which is I don't he they didn't care long they didn't he said the second black president will get him in there for the right reason. But just get the first brother in there.
No,
Just so it was that was the whole thing. It was like let's just get the first brother in there. So at least now for the first time ever, when you used to tell the kids back in the day you could be president, no black kid really believed it ever until Obama. Now it's like, oh, I really can be president. That's
no,
all. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
not. There's
That's all I'm saying. That,
yeah,
that that's what I'm saying. It does
but
so far as visual
you're
influence.
not getting it. You're not getting it. All of these people, all these black people that voted during the Obama section, they're not voting anymore. They
Right.
felt he didn't do anything. They felt they didn't understand the policies. They didn't understand what the hell happened
That's
with
because they didn't
Congress.
understand politics, but I get you.
So they just stopped voting.
Right. Now
The
you can't
numbers we were
control that
turning out.
though.
What happened? What do you mean you can't control that?
I said I'm saying you can't control that. That's just like, you know, you got a bunch of lazy motherfuckers in the world. You can't control that. Like
But that's the problem. You're sitting there saying we can't control it, but you can. if you would stop getting people hyped up on some goddamn fake ass Wakanda and you started educating them on, look, like I tell G, me and G had a long conversation the other day. I don't give a damn what you feel about it. If you're not voting, then you have nothing to fucking complain about.
Right.
So if you're gonna sit there and be like, oh well, I mean, you know, we'll get another black guy in there. No, the hell with getting. I don't care what color he is. Make sure he doesn't fuck with my money.
Right.
Right.
I don't give a damn if he's Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, whatever the fuck he is. I need you to make me money. That's what
I
I need
guess,
you to do.
but that
So,
but that's not how people was looking at it. Half of the people don't understand politics, or half the other half don't want to understand politics. The other half don't believe they vote matters. So it's like it's one of those things where it's a mixed bag. But the few people, there's the select few people, it did change. It didn't change everybody. It didn't change everybody. Like you said, when he got voted in the second time, it was predominantly white or whatever the case may be. But it still changed some people. But I'm a perfect example. I never freaking voted before Obama. Now I vote every year. I
mhm.
never voted before Obama. I never had any interest in it. I had different people telling me different things over the years. I was uneducated and was ignorant in the political world. There's still a lot of things I need to learn about the political world and politics and policies and the way different things work. But I still make effort to vote now ever since Obama, which when I at the first I had zero interest in voting. So yeah, I'm not the minority. I'm not everybody, but I'm one person that it changed. And I'm pretty sure it's a handful of other people that it changed. And maybe the percentage is not as big as the other thing, but you know, sometimes you gotta take baby steps. Sometimes it's one step at a time. Not right. In this case, it's a few people at a time. Not everybody's going. Not everybody's going to join the movement. You know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of happens that way. We can't control it. That's what I mean by you know what I'm saying. And we can't take away. We can't take away what the influence that it did do, even though because it didn't affect everybody as a whole. I don't know. That's just how I felt about it.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I'm just, like I say, I see I see it in my life. So, like I said, I don't I get it. It didn't affect everybody, but it affects some. You know, maybe
So, I mean, again, bro, like the way you look at it, I get it from a creative point on the Black Panther situation,
right.
but in the same token, it's like B said, it was just a movie that everybody's hyping up. Now, if they
Right.
hyped up other things like that, we would be okay. You understand black people are the most cloned culture.
Yes, this is true. There's still a lot of stuff from us.
So
Look at
how
Elvis.
is it? So how is it if everybody wants to be like you, you're just like, oh man, like Wakanda was the thing that made you, happy.
College not the only thing that makes me happy. I like the Cosby's. I like stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I just when I spoke on it from a child's perspective of growing up as a youngster. Growing up as a youngster, you want what's
Yeah,
fun.
I
Well,
want I want a
you want what's
youngster to
fun.
I
You
want a
want what's fun.
youngster
The
to
Cosby
look at.
Show. Go ahead.
I no, I want a youngster to look at Cosby Show in a different world and be like, I can go to college, I can be a doctor, I can be a lawyer. I don't want them to look at Wakanda and be like, I could be a fake ass African prince and kill people
And
and shit and
and
wear a
and
mask
and,
and
and
dumb
I
shit
and
like
I
that.
and I get that, but we're talking about a kid. If a kid, okay, you have a kid that'll look at they'll be like, oh, I want to be like Bill Gates. I want to
You
be
know,
like
children
Steve.
have more rights than blacks, right? You know that,
Okay.
right? You know that, right?
I'm sure everybody has more rights than blacks, but
Children
go
have
ahead.
more rights than blacks. Like children have right to everything. Children are supposed to be treated like young adults now, but you telling me they have to get it from a fake ass, mythical superhero?
No. What I'm saying is they like fun stuff, and I get it. I get where you're coming from, so far as like um in a textbook sense. But we're talking about, yeah, you're gonna have those kids who's gonna be entertained by the Cosby Show or a different world and stuff like that. And those shows are cool. And those shows bring a lot of lessons and different things of that nature. But those shows to a kid is stale. It's stale. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with the lessons, and I'm not saying I wish they would get more excited. I'm dealing with the same thing with my children now, trying to get them excited about their education and wanting to do other things. But kids gravitate to what's fun for them. Young adults gravitate to what's fun for them. And then you have a select few, like my daughter, for instance, that gravitate outside the box, that actually likes to read, that actually likes to be cultured, and actually likes to be wants to try to be something greater. You have those kinds, but you different traits for different people. So it's like, okay, maybe this guy or this girl is not he don't have the interest in this part of the culture, but maybe they have the interest in it creatively. And so now, when they felt like there was no hope for them creatively, because all you saw was the white man on the screen, the white man on it was always a white hero. It's always a white hero. And it's like, oh wait, hold up. I can be creative. I can make a character, a story within my community that could amount to something for those group of people that's more into creativity, more into things that stimulate them. And other kids are into what stimulates their intellect. Not all kids are into what stimulates their intellect. That's all I'm saying. But I get your point. You made a valid, very, very valid point. And yes, every parent would love for their kid to gravitate to those kind of shows and to those textbooks. Those that textbook style. But who did? I think who really kind of made so far as since we were talking about shows, I feel like who kind of like brung that in kind of both worlds was like Family Matters and like Fresh Prince, where it was like fun, but there was lessons to learn too. I think they kind of broke that gap or that barrier a little bit. They weren't. I'm not saying that they were nowhere near as good as so far as lessons wise as when it comes to Cosby's or Different World with different views that they had. But I'm just saying, so far as they was able to kind of mix, but both worlds with different lessons and culture and stuff like that. When you think about that. But I don't know. Like I say, I was just thinking of it from a fun fictional story, creative perspective, and not so deep into where, you know, it's like the way you say. Because I mean, you could sit up there and you could put they put a lot of emphasis on that spelling bee movie. What's Elisa and the Bee? What was it? I don't remember the name of that shit. But it was a spelling bee movie. They put a lot
Aquila
of
and the Bee.
Aquila and the Bee, right? And that was filmed down the street from my neighborhood, so that made it even a much bigger deal. but I was one of the only people in my neighborhood that was interested in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else was interested in it. They didn't even care that it was filmed on our block.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I haven't heard about that movie in a long time.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
kid. I'm just saying, the average Joe gravitates to what's fun and what's entertaining.
Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. I mean,
But that's
literally,
everybody. It's not just our culture. That's everybody.
and that's the problem. But you know what
Mm-hmm.
the problem is? You know what the biggest problem is? You just hit it on the head. That's every culture, not just our culture, right?
Right.
But every other culture has a way to steer these dudes into making successes of themselves for the most part.
Right.
We are the ones who aren't. We are the ones who are lacking.
That's
And all we do is pull up excuses like, well, I mean, we was already behind the eight ball, I mean, you gotta keep it real. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You gotta be down. You know what I'm saying? Don't snitch. You know what I'm saying? We got these funny ass little one-liners that we put off on people and they understand this shit.
Well, I was just referring to something similar
Oh,
to that when I was just referring something similar to that when I was stating it was hard being a pacifist in our community.
Bro.
That was my conversation earlier, and I mentioned in so many words I mentioned the fact that you can't be a punk, you got to be hard, you got to be gangster, you got to be this, you got to be that. It is frowned upon to be a pacifist in our culture. Because we're looked at as you got to be a soldier, even against your own people.
I mean, that's the problem, dude. And these
Yeah.
kids, dude, like, kid you not, I had a kid come into my shop the other day, and I thought this dude was about to kill himself.
Wow.
Hmm?
The heck?
And for reals?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Holy.
I mean, I was literally sitting at the front, and I was about to leave because the shop had been closed for like almost an hour.
Right.
But I was just kind of hanging out, see if I had any straggler customers that needed to come in. And then this kid walked into the shop, and I'm like, "All right, yeah, what's up? Like you need something?" And he was like pacing back and forth, and he was like, I was like, "Are you good, dude?" And he's like, "No." And he starts explain. He asked me a question, like he asked me like, "What do you do when everything in your life isn't going right?"
Point.
Damn.
So we sat here and talked, and he's like, he was 18 years old, just graduated from high school, kind of deal. Wasn't in school, didn't have a job, didn't have a car, and he was, I guess from what he was explaining, he was like talking to people online, like, social media types, I guess, having
Okay, you got
friends
5
online.
seconds. You need a point.
And
I'm sorry.
and his mom thought he needed to go out and venture out and talk to people in the real world, so she took his phone away from him, and that like devastated this dude to where he had like taken off. He was like he had been wandering around, and he just decided to wander in here.
Wow.
Wow.
And he was a wreck, dude. And I'm like literally talking to him, and I'm like, bro, you just got to keep fighting. You're only 18 years old, man. You got a lot of life left to live, dude. And I was like, what do you want to do? And he was like, oh, he's like, I kind of got interested in being a voiceover actor, but I don't know. I was like, well, what did you do to like, follow that dream? And he was like, well, I got a lot of research done on it, and then I wanted to call the company, but I couldn't do. I lost my nerve. I couldn't do it, and I was like, "What's the worst that could happen?" And he's like, "I don't know." And he was like freaking out, and I told him the worst thing that can happen is they could say no, and he's like, "I'm tired of hearing no's."
Right.
I'm like, bro, you gonna hear? I'm like, you only 18, dog. You gonna hear a lot of no's over your lifetime, man.
Yep.
So
But
you never know he might have what kind of trauma he has.
Yeah.
I get, but yeah, no, we went through all. We had a long conversation, bro. I guess
Mhm.
COVID had fucked him up because he said he wanted to venture out and do some stuff in his senior year, but his mom told him no. She was scared of getting COVID. His mom had just got a new boyfriend. He was heavy into religion, so his mom started getting into religion. She started trying to push him into religion. He didn't really feel like he wanted to do that. He had a lot going on, but you know, we had a conversation and we literally sat in my shop for like an hour, a little bit over an hour just talking. And I was like, bro, like, I don't even know you, dude. Like, what happens if you would have came in here and I would have just sent you away? He didn't even know how to answer it. I told him, I'm like, bro, you need to go. I was like, you first thing you need to do is go home and talk to your mom, dude.
You know, when you're a youngster, though, everything feels like the end of the world. Especially if you look at your surroundings and you don't see you don't see no hope in your
Hold on. I kind of want to just hear the rest of
yeah.
James's story.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot more. Like I
It
said,
didn't
we
seem
we
like it. That's why I started talking about my
yeah,
bad.
no, we like I said, we talked. He kind of understood where I was coming from. And like I told him the first thing you gotta do, bro, is go talk to your mom. I said, because that's your mom. And I mean, yeah, she may have cut your senior year off, but she was looking out for you because she didn't want you to get sick. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I told him, you don't know what your mom's going through either. So if you open a dialogue with your mom, she may tell you that she's going through if you tell her you going through. I was like, the worst thing you could have is no dialogue because then nobody knows what's going on. And then you end up over here as a stranger shop, you know, contemplating ending your life. So he kind of said he was like, well, can I come back over here? I was like, first thing first, you need to talk to your moms, bro. And then if that works out, if not, I said, yeah, you come back during business hours, bro. I'm usually here, man. And I'll chop it up with you, little homie, anytime, bro. So I mean, but that shit tripped me out because like I'm thinking in my head, dude, I could have just been like, hey, we closed. Or I could have
Mhm.
already left. So I don't know. Like that kind of though, when I look at it, I'm like, that's the problem again. This is a young black kid who's literally lost, and there's nobody that is around him that are willing to help. So I don't know. Like I'm thinking in my head,
I
like,
know what
what
you
would other
mean.
people do?
Yeah, I mean, bro, I'm just, that's why I get so passionate about stuff because I see other people and I see other people's experience, and also I remember my experience as well. And I try not to go too crazy with it, but I understand people like him more than I understand others. You know, you grow up, and you look around you, and you don't see no hope. You don't see it. And unfortunately we sometimes you have to see it. Sometimes it's hard to believe when you look around and your whole family is on assistance, the other's homeless, the other's on dope, crack, and it's then you're there and then you're struggling with whatever you're struggling with, and you feel like, man, if I can't get this right, my life is over. I'm gonna end up like the rest of them. So then you start feeling like your life is over. You start feeling like you ain't nothing. It goes deep. Then you go to school with that same mentality. Students, kids are freaking mean. You know, kids treat you like crap. You go home, your parents or your parents or guardian or whatever, they treat you like crap. Everybody's struggling. you can't get past academically. Now you've already given up on life, and your life hasn't even started yet. That shit is deep. Childhood trauma is real.
But
It is.
again, that's why I said kids need something different than some like again, what I don't Black Panther could be a cool movie. Like I said, I ain't never seen it, never plan on watching the shit. But I don't feel like you're saying, oh, it does this and that. I mean it could, but
I
I
said did it
I
for the
feel
underdog.
it needs to be more impactful, being realistic stuff.
Well, you could. My point is, let's just say, we instead of the Black Panther, just theoretically speaking, they put as much as energy, the same energy that they put in Black Panther, into a movie about the Black Panther movie.
Or just have some black people go out in the community and put more energy into fucking making sure that the kids in their community is growing up right.
Well, that's true, but we're referring to the movie.
No, we're
That's
not. You're referring to the movies because that's how you relate, and that's probably part of
well,
the
I'm
reason
Well, I'm
that.
saying, I'm saying I was referring to the movie. Now, if you're referring to, if we're just talking about community wise, there's a ton of stuff that we should do, could do, need to be doing right now. That's a whole lot of stuff. But I was just saying, so far as when it comes to the movie, when I don't want because I remember you were just saying what you felt it done for the culture, and I felt like from somebody's perspective, like the guy, like the boy you just said,
Mhm.
if he was I don't know, if it was a cartoon and it had all the voice actors was black, maybe it'll give him inspiration to believe he could do it. He could have did it too.
How would he
That's
know
all I'm
who the
saying.
voiceover? How would he know what voiceover actors were black and which ones weren't though?
No, if it was I'm saying if it was like how they did Black Panther, they put everything out there, let you know this is black and this is black. I'm saying if it was out there the same in the same way.
Well,
You get what
shit.
I'm
At that point, you might as well just idolize Coming to America.
saying? Right.
I
You
mean,
know
it's
what
the
I mean?
same shit, right?
I mean, and you think about it, you're right in a
Yeah,
sense
it's the
because
same shit.
guess what? That you know what Coming to America did? Coming
What?
to America made other young black comedians. You know, Eddie Murphy. You know, why did Eddie Murphy become a black comedian to where he is like now? Because of Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
You
but how did
know,
Coming to America do any of that?
no, what I'm saying, I didn't say coming to. I'm saying what I'm saying is those.
That's what you just said.
What I'm saying is those are influences to and areas of interest. That's all I'm saying. Black Panther was it's a influence into an area of interest. I'm not saying it's everything. I'm just saying in that area of interest it pushed little black boys who felt like it couldn't happen to letting them know it can happen.
But
And
you're
that
saying two different things, though.
what two different things.
Coming to America, you said that showed young comedians how funny Eddie Murphy was, and he got his start from Richard Pryor, like watching Richard Pryor.
What I'm saying is any other I'm pretty sure there's young comedians there's young kid people that came up when Coming to America came out and
Hmm.
became comedians from that film.
Exactly.
I'm
So you're
sure.
telling me, so yes, so that I could see. But you're telling me that because Wakanda and Black Panther came out, there's gonna be some black kids wearing masks trying to fight Thanos?
No, what I'm saying is it opened their mind to something else outside. Like it's kind of like when black folks was tap dancing and bojangles. everybody was trying to tap dance. People started rapping, everybody's trying to rap. I'm just
Yes,
saying, it
these
just
are all real things.
right,
Comedians, tap dancers, rappers.
right.
Wakanda is not real.
No, Wakanda
That is
is
a
what
superhero.
not exactly. But I'm saying from a creator's perspective. Oh yes, we can. Okay, okay. There, you don't see superheroes in the world. It's fictional, but
Yes.
it lets that kid know that he could that maybe I can make a black comic book and it could become a movie. Maybe I could make a character, just make a character and go straight to film instead of a comic book or whatever. I'm just saying it gets the juices rolling.
Oh, so you mean
You
like the Boondocks,
Yeah, yeah.
which came out
But the
before Black
Boondocks is
Panther?
if the Boondocks is I wouldn't put that up there because I mean I do like it and I do like what it does for the culture, but also it's a lot of negligence within there that I wouldn't want children to be exposed to. And that's in a sense of
Man,
in
you
a
got a
sense.
lot of rules to this.
Yeah, I'm
You
just
want
saying.
you want you want kids to follow a
It's like I'm
fictional
just
fucking
saying. It's like the
situation.
It's like the Black South Park. That's what I mean. I get you what you're saying, but I'm saying like the
We got
Boondocks.
something now called the Riververse.
You said what?
The Riververse.
The what verse?
With as a YouTuber, Young Rip, he got $4 million off his new comic book.
Right.
Who's a
Well,
black
I just like
content creator,
that's cool. I don't
and
even know who he is.
he's creating his own comic book universe.
I mean, no, I think that's cool.
He said, I don't even know who the fuck he is.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
that's the comic book dude right here.
like, I just be honest. My whole thing is, not the whole thing I was just trying to say is that from a creative perspective, it gave a kid something else to think about outside of being a rapper and outside of a rapper and a singer. That I can be a creator and I could create something within my culture and within my culture, and it could turn into something. That's what I was trying to point out with so far as what it do for the culture. It gives the culture a different perspective of something else that they can do outside of rapping and singing because our basketball. That's pretty much all of our in our culture. That's all we feel and see that we could make it. A lot of us see that's
That's
what
not true.
a lot of you
There's
see a
also
lot of
drug
people
dealing.
like that. Yeah, and
There's
dope
also
dealer
drug
and
dealing.
stuff like
Also
that,
drug
right?
dealing.
But I'm saying so far as legitimate stuff that people look at in the culture wise, they feel like that's what and Black Panther gives them something else to look into outside of that. You know, uh, coming to America, like you said, that's something else. Comedian, you know, uh, it just gives them something else. I'm not saying it's like, oh, you're gonna learn all these life lessons and somebody's gonna become a superhero. No, but that black kid might create the next big superhero. That black kid might create the next big world or environment creatively or the next big comic book or whatever the case may be because they were inspired by seeing seeing them on the big screen in this fashion. And I have to get behind something like that. Yeah, because I remember being that kid growing up not seeing nothing. And I was one of those kids where you give me a book and I get bored or fall asleep. So I know that there's different different tiers, different type of kids that get influenced in different type of ways. And so, You know, they be sitting up there on TV all the time. They see this stuff. Guess that's a different perspective. You can't. It's kind of hard not to. It's kind of hard not to be saying it's a good thing, because what if like 5, 10 years from now or whatever, this kid grew up and he make the next biggest film. It's a new black character that's never been created before, and when he says his speech, when he gets his Oscar, he says, "Oh, I was inspired because when I was younger, I saw Black Panther, and it got me, you know, influenced me to create this." You know, then he influenced the next one, and the next one, the next one to go on, and now you have kids that are doing other things outside of thinking that, oh, I gotta be a freaking ball player, I gotta be a freaking basketball player, or I have to be a lawyer and doctor, but I'm not on that academic level to be a lawyer and doctor. Oh, so now I want to kill myself because I can't do those things. But now I have other options. I have creative options. I have different options to do. That's all I was trying to say from a creative perspective of how it could be looked at from someone someone growing up seeing their self on the big screen versus just seeing the white Superman, the white Goku, the white everything.
The
That's
thing with me when it comes to that though is, like I said, I growing up for me, I didn't see things. I'm just personally talking for myself right now.
yeah.
I didn't see things as black and white. If I
Hmm.
liked it, I liked it, and if I was inspired by it, I was inspired by it.
Right.
Uh, uh, the whole black and white thing conversation didn't get the the that that became pop. I guess you could say part of the living situation was when I got to high school.
Mm.
Uh, I said, I growing up, I didn't see things as black, white, whatever. I was cool. I was cool with everybody, and what I
Right.
saw, and what I saw, growing up, all these things inspired. Yeah, as an artist, like I said, I had anime, Rooney Kenshin, Dragon Ball Z, Gundam. You
Hmm.
know, I was watching um, um, those shows, those black shows like James. So I forgot the name of them. And I was also watching other shows that had nothing to do with black people. I was inspired by everything, you
True.
know.
But
Um, and
maybe you or your family
uh,
didn't deal with race in that way. Like even me, like when I was growing up, I didn't see black and white. I didn't see black and white until a kid told me about it.
uh-huh.
I didn't know. I literally did not know. I remember like it was yesterday because it plays back in my head. We were all playing. Now, mind you, we played several times before, and there's one of the white boys next door to me. One of our best friends. He was also white. He was passing out cookies. He gave me the cookies to give to Justin. That's why I remember his name. I don't remember nobody's name. I gave him the cookies, and he said, "I don't want that from your black hand." And I said, "Huh?" I looked at my hand because I'm trying to figure out what on my hand is black. Like I'm like, what are you talking? Like I was confused. I was very, I shit you not, I was confused. Up until that point, I didn't see race. So I get you. I get you. But later on, once I went back to LA, And that situation, all I can see is race. You know, when I see police brutality, or when I'm living in a white neighborhood and I come back and live in a black neighborhood, I could notice the difference. So it was different, different perspective. And you're right, you could get inspired by anything else. But I'm just saying it's nice to get inspired by seeing us do things. You know, sometimes it takes that extra bit of seeing someone make it to believe it. Why so many black folks think they could be in the NBA? Because they see that shit. They see that shit on a regular basis. So they feel like, oh, I could be in the NBA. Oh, I could be a rapper. Because they see that because it's what they see. That's what they seeing. Then they see a black doctor and they're like, oh, that gives them a different perspective. Oh, maybe I could be a doctor. Like, and then for the ones who can't be doctors and can't be lawyers, what do they have to look at?
I
You
mean,
know,
that goes to us to make sure that our kids understand
right? But it doesn't
that
always work out. It doesn't always work out that way. It goes out that do go out to us,
but
but when it doesn't work out that way, what's the next thing a kid go to? Another kid, and whatever sparks their interest, because you got kids that's still going through generational curse from the crack epidemic. So they outlook they got kids that have been through more stuff in a short time here than you've probably been through in your whole life. So it's like now they see something else, and it sparks that interest. That's what you need. You need that interest spark. Without that interest spark, if you don't get you don't do nothing. I'm seeing it now in my own home. I've been trying to inspire my son. He got a spark for basketball, but he also got a spark for these women. So now his spark for basketball is dying because his nose is open. But my point of saying it is just that spark is what's gonna make them do it when they don't want to do it. Is what's gonna push them to do it. You can't tell them what to do. They have to find their interests, and you have to give them options to look at to figure out what they want to do as individuals. And you could do that the best you can, but like I say, some kids don't have that option. And that when it goes into like what James said about basically people working in the community to kind of help in that area. I'm pretty sure he understands that there's kids like that, which is why he said he talks about giving back to the community and stuff like that, and mentorship and stuff like that. He understands that there's some kids that don't have that within their families, within their circle.
I,
And my
I I get that, but when it comes to this whole so-called culture thing,
Yeah,
but that needs to be the norm. You know,
it does.
uh, the parents actually giving a fuck about their children, community actually giving a fuck about the people that actually lives inside it. That needs to be a norm. While all this culture talk is pointless,
Right, but I said
absolutely
it's not,
pointless.
but I know, but it's not. But now what? So you recognize the problem, but now what? That
Well,
you know,
yeah,
what can you do?
I put out the problem, and that's what needs to be fixed.
Right, right. But I'm saying like, how do you fix that problem? How do you fix that problem? And that was, like I said, that was my whole argument, that when they see stuff like that, it opens it up. You was influenced by anime, whatever. That was your spark. Man, you got some. I know. My brother-in-law, he's super. Mostly, he don't watch stuff unless it's black half the time. Every time he over here, he look at TV. It's got to be something black. He don't even fuck around with other shit. So it's like different strokes for different folks.
I'm not, but yeah, I get that, but I'm talking about a core, the core thing to keep us having a healthy community, make sure that all the kids grow up healthy, make sure the adults grow up healthy. That's not there,
It's
and
yeah,
that's what needs to be fixed.
it's not there. We're still coming off the crack epidemic. We still coming off that. You still got kids coming off that, because it continued. It didn't stop. I have an ex-girlfriend that in high school, I never thought anybody my age would be a crackhead until I saw her. And I'm like, wow. Like, I didn't think it was possible. Out of all the stuff we went through, like, if you was an '80s baby, and you grew up in the '80s, or whatever, I mean, you grew up an '80s baby, and you was affected by the crack epidemic or drugs or whatever the case may be. Like, I don't understand how you can look at a crackhead and grow up and become a fucking crackhead. I don't understand it. But
But like you just said in the whole argument,
right,
that's all you seen, and that's easy to do.
yeah,
If a kid is all he's seen is murder, that's easy for him to be a murderer.
mm-hmm, right.
Yeah,
But that's why it goes back to the whole options thing when it comes to you know creativity, with what I was saying about the film, which is that it give them another option to make them believe. Sometimes it's difficult to look beyond what you see. It's a good
I, I
lesson.
I get it. That movie might encourage artists, visual effect artists, and all these other photographers, videographers, or whatever
Yeah.
actors. Yeah, I get that, but that's still not solving the main core problem,
And what's the main core problem?
that we don't have strong the family unit is not strong in the household, and the communities are not there.
All right. So the ones, the communities that are not there, how you gonna fix the communities that are not there?
We look at the communities that are already successful, that already has the blueprint, and copy that.
Yeah, but what if you're talking about a community that's already messed up? And you born into that community? What do they do?
You look at the ones that the communities are not messed up. I mean, all
Yeah,
the information is there.
yeah. If it was that easy, then it wouldn't be so hard to get out the hood. I just like, I'm trying to have you look at it from a different perspective, to where, like, yeah, that's the ideal way. But if you're in, you know,
But if you look, is it really hard though?
oh,
Is it really hard to leave that hood?
it's extreme. It can be extremely hard at times.
Is it? Because
Yeah,
well, I know.
yeah.
All I just have to leave the hood,
Look,
get
look,
a
look
job
how
outside the
look
hood,
look look how
collect
many
money, and you be
look how
gone.
look how many generations are still stuck in a project. They stuck generation after generation. How's that
Is
happen?
that?
So it
Because
must not be. It must not be easy. You know, it must be. It must be something that it's a task. It takes effort. They got to get influence.
because I talked to. I mean, I'm down there, the Crenshaw. I'm over there all the time. They all know what the problem is. They all know what they need to do.
Where did you grow up?
Huh?
Where did you grow up?
I was born in San Central, moved to Panther, the AV when I was young though, so
Yeah.
can't say
So
I was really
how old were you when you in Los Angeles?
2006.
Okay. When
So
you moved into Lancaster, were you guys 2-parent household?
yes, at that time, yes.
Okay. Did you guys have a house?
Yeah.
Okay, see, it's a whole different perspective. You were actually set up. You were set up to succeed like that. Having a
But
2-parent household for however long.
a lot of people in my neighborhood at that time had houses as well.
Right.
So
And
I mean,
they could go either way. But the opportunity is broader is broader. If you would have said, for instance, if you would have stayed in that district, your opportunity would have been a little different. You might have dealt with different situations than you dealt with growing up where you grew up. You know, you might have dealt with it a little bit where you at, but not nearly as much as if you was living in the jungles,
I mean,
or if you was living in the Pueblos, you know, or if you was
but
living in the projects in New York. Like,
I mean, like as I get all that, but they all
yeah,
know what the problem is, though. But they
right.
refuse to do things about it. It's not that it's hard for them to leave the hood and make their life better.
You think it's you
They they
think of it
mentally
like
block
this.
them own selves out from making that life change.
Okay,
The
pick a
only
age.
person who's stopping them from going and changing their lives is themselves. There's no
Okay,
one block. There's no visible wall blocking them from doing what they want to do.
Hey, I
you
got
think
plenty of
you
homies that grew up in the jungle.
right. There's some people that make it out, and some people that don't. What happens to those people that don't make it out? Why they don't make it out?
I mean,
What's the, what
I
ha-
can't
what?
I can't really tell you, homie. I got the homies that went sideways and they just
Yeah.
but then I got plenty of I got homies that run cleaning services. I got homies that, landscaping bit. They all own their own businesses. And they all
Now
grew up in the same area.
I know some cats that grew up in the same area too. But you know what's crazy is majority of the ones I know that made it out those areas, they actually did things they did things they ought not do to obtain the finances that they need to open up their business.
Mhm. None of my homies did though.
I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know about anywhere else. I'm saying I don't know about. I'm going off Los Angeles. Most Los
Yeah,
Angeles. I'm not going to speak
I was
on which
born and
business.
raised there.
Right. I'm not going to speak on. I'm not going to speak on which business owners I know, but I know a lot of them were ex dope dealers, ex pimps, things of that nature, real gangsters that they basically took their money and put it into a business. That's how they were able to get themselves out of their situation. So they got people who's willing to go that far. Then they got people who's not willing to go that far, go that far. Then you got people you can say will go to school. Then you got people who have trouble in school. So what do when they have trouble in school? If they have trouble academically, it's like a autistic person. He he a math whiz, but he can't read and write. You know, those people trying to find their way out too. You know, it's like yeah. Some people have different skill sets to be able to get themselves out, but others, you know, maybe just the stress alone, and maybe being a teenager and having to take care of their mom and dad, and and can't get out. It'd be like crabs in the barrel, and can't seem to get past what they're doing. And then you got other people that'll be in that same situation, and because of that situation, they push themselves and go further and beyond, so they don't have to go through that anymore. And others just can't figure out how to make their way out. You know, but people
I
if
mean, we could go what happened this, what happened that all day long, but
right.
I'm talking about in the general sense. Yeah, a lot of them could easily change their life if they want to.
In a general sense, I'm saying influences. I'm saying influences help change people's perspective when they can't look beyond what they see, and when they have trouble looking beyond what they see, influences will change their perspective. There's some people that's difficult for. Is you know it's I love it. They taught the lesson in Lion King 1.5. I love that lesson. Look beyond what you see. That's why I keep saying it. I think that's something that we need in our community is the ability to look beyond what we see. I think that'll save our community.
Oh, what's up, Ella Cool Pat? Good to hear you.
What the
hear
fuck,
you on.
man? Hello, Cool Pat was the one talking.
I know. I said, "What's up, man?" Oh, happy birthday, man! I heard it was your birthday today. Happy birthday!
Who the fuck said that?
Oh, it said on Facebook. Go ahead, Shitty.
Oh, that's right. Your stupid Funko page.
Oh yeah, I'm probably made up some fake birthday or something. Can I share something with the group?
Go ahead.
How do I share? Let me see. I want to know what your opinion is on this.
There is a systematic effort to destroy every black male entertainer's image. Nobody leaves this business clean.
I don't want to ask. That's all the part I was wanted to see, but I wanted to see what you thought about that part.
All right. So yeah, I actually watched that before a couple of a month ago, a year ago. I think that came out, or I mean a couple of years ago that came out. I think there's something interesting about it, and there's definitely some truth. I mean, when I think about the black heavyweights, do anybody come out of Hollywood clean?
He kind of told the future on that on Undercover Brother, because he mentioned all that kind of stuff before, well, not before it started happening, but like before some of the actual people on that list
really
were in trouble. Yeah. Let me make sure the actual names on that list. You seen Undercover Brother, haven't you?
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years though, but yeah, I did see it.
You remember the little list and everything? That was way before this Cosby situation. Cosby's name may not have been on there. I don't know. Maybe not. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure Michael Jackson was on there. He had some names on there, you know.
But do you think there's some truth to that, in your opinion?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. Even to this date, R. Kelly, Trey Songz, who else is going through it? There's some more people. But Kanye. Yeah, Kanye. Poor Kanye.
Yeah.
I was about to say Kanye.
I don't know how everybody else feel about Kanye, but that's my boy, man. I respect that man, even though
They
he
tried
crazy
to
as hell.
attack Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, Kyrie. That's another one. Well, I think Shaq. Well, Shaq is getting it for criticizing Kyrie, so I don't know if that works.
Right, because Shaq is doing okay.
Yeah, Shaq. Well, no, Shaq is starting to get it because he criticized Kyrie.
I know, but I'm saying so
But he
far
not
as
on that
business
list, though.
wise, he's got his foot in everything, and that's a big foot.
Yeah, that's true.
Police foot.
I'm trying to think who else.
Shaq going undercover. We know it's you, Shaq.
Kevin Hart went through it.
A little bit.
Oh
yeah,
a little bit.
Nick, they tried
making
to hit
him
Nick.
apologize.
They tried to hit the golden child, Nick Cannon.
Yep.
They did hit him pretty hard.
They hit him in the same way they hit Kanye, the same way they hit
couldn't
Kyrie.
deny. But the problem is they couldn't deny Nick. That's the problem. He's a mogul. Like they couldn't deny him. That's why they end up bringing him back into because prior to that you realize he was like at the peak of his career. He's on America's Got Talent. No, he's on America's Got Talent. He's on a Max Singer. He has his own show that's been running for years. He's doing movies. He's still doing music. Yeah, he was at
movies, he's not doing movies like that. I wouldn't say he's at the top. I would say he was more at the top when Drumline.
But
he has a lot going on.
No,
I agree with that. I agree.
All together as a whole, I don't care if it's a low budget movie. As a whole, this dude is doing more than most people.
I could agree with that, but I wouldn't say he's at the top. But I will say that I think he has.
Dude is producing music, other people's music. Dude is producing other people's music. He has his own. He's
at the top of his father level.
Right.
Shit, without him damn kids.
Yeah, and that's why he's on top of his level. Shoot.
That too.
He gonna have a whole little Wakanda in a minute.
Shoot. He gonna Chico Bean said it best. He said I know what he's doing. He gonna replace the cast with be the cannons. Shoot, I'm gonna have to check my ancestry since he's trying to give away all this money. See if I'm related to him.
Dave Chappelle.
Yep. They tried to get Dave Chappelle for sure.
Yeah.
But
they're still trying to. No, they're still trying to get Dave
pumped
Chappelle.
up.
Oh yeah, they did. They tried to get him on the transgender community, but then the transgender community, a few of them stood up for him.
But no, they're still trying to get him though.
No, a lot of them, but a lot of them stood up for him. A lot of them say it was not. They were saying I hate trans. They were saying I hate transgender people like this and taking stuff and running with it and doing all this stuff like this. And he broke down what joke that was said and how it wasn't offensive.
No. I know there's people that stood up for him, but they're still trying to get rid of him. Did you know, like when he was on SNL, like what's it called, a couple of days ago, people were pissed off. Actually, some of the writers on SNL striked. The report came out. Dave Chappelle and his team said they didn't see anything, but I guess some of the writers came out and said no, they did a strike against Dave Chappelle being on SNL.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was on there.
Yeah, he was.
But they were striking it.
They said some of the writers, they I guess they striked it from what they're saying. Hold on, I'll bring up the article.
They some weenies.
Yep.
Dave Chappelle came back, and some people was saying he's a clone.
I don't know.
Yeah, they was saying that. They said that about Wendy Williams.
Now, the one that I wouldn't say a clone. I don't really believe the whole clone thing, but an imposter, like a fake, a person who's just they train to be. I really feel like Gucci Man is not the same Gucci Man.
Oh, because you talking about that Hobson conspiracy?
I don't know. He just don't
They got
seem the same to me.
they got a Hobson conspiracy saying that basically Hobson put on a Gucci Man's outfit.
Who is Hobson?
Oh God, a very sick rapper. Very sick. Look up Ill Mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Very sick rapper.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Matter of fact, Eminem gave him a shout out and he went bonkers. He was like, I didn't even know he knew who I was. Because Eminem was saying basically he was talking about real rappers and he named Jordan Lucas and he named Hobson and Hobson started freaking out and got on social media tripping out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. This new Gucci Man ain't got tight rhymes like that either, so probably not him.
Well, I mean, of course he's not gonna be himself. If it was true, why would he rap like himself? Like, no.
I mean, but original Gucci Man, I mean, he wasn't the tightest rapper, but he rapped better than now. Now he's like a pop rapper, and he don't.
I haven't heard
sound
none
that
of.
great.
I haven't heard no Gucci Mane.
Oh, the old Gucci Man, you know, I have a hard time.
I ain't
saying
no
Gucci
Gucci man over here, man.
She say Coochie Man.
Yeah, he was all right. I was forced into becoming a Gucci Man listener, fan, or whatever you want to call it.
Last rap album I listened to was Victory Lap.
What you call it? Did
Nipsey
Hussle is what I was trying to get out. Yeah, I haven't really listened to the. The.
I bought the album. It's the only album I bought in years.
Yeah, well. Victory Lap came out when he was still alive, right?
Yeah. Prior to that, the only albums I ever bought, because you know, with the internet and everything, the only albums I bought before that, like legitimately bought, was it's embarrassing. Pink first album and Tamia.
Pink and Tamia. You bought them for yourself?
Yeah.
Oh. That's cool, I guess.
No, I to me back in the day, I liked music. I had no bias against genres or sex. If it was good, Pink's first album is good.
You know, I wasn't into Pink. Like I thought she was kind of okay, hot. You know, she was okay looking, but I really wasn't into
I
Pink.
thought she looked it better back then, but that first album was good, and I liked how it continued. She had some cool little cuts on that first album.
Tamia is fine though. Tamia is fine.
Tamia is fine.
She fine from way back in the days, fine, and she's still fine now.
Yeah, Tamia was. Oh my God, Tamia is fine. And that was one of the reasons I got her album outside of liking her music, because I was big on I was more into R&B because I didn't really care for gangster rap. I liked rap, but I wasn't super big on hardcore gangster rap. I didn't like it. It wasn't. It didn't tick. I didn't like it. Like my favorite rappers back in the day, it started off with Bone Thugs and Harmony because it sound more like a song. You know, to me, it was put together better.
It was harmonizing and whatnot.
Yeah. I didn't like all that. Kill your mama, shoot your bitch. On a set this.
I guess I could feel you.
Yeah, I didn't like none of that shit.
I'm surprised you like Bone Thugs, especially with some of the stuff they used to talk about.
But shit, I didn't like rap. I didn't like rap at all till what you call it. Like I didn't like rap until NWA, and I liked it because they looked and sound familiar. They looked like people like I knew. But I ain't gonna say I didn't like rap. I didn't like that much rap because I did like the Fat Boys back in the day. I started listening to a little KRS-One, and I did like the Beastie Boys too. But other than that, I didn't really like Randy MC, all that.
I like a few Heavy D cuts.
Yeah,
You
Heavy
know,
D was cool, and he was on that R&B type thing along with his
right?
little rap. Yeah, Heavy D was cool, man. Rest in peace, Heavy D.
Yeah, I like
Diddly
you
diddly
know,
diddly dee.
oh yeah, I like old school Biz Markie a little bit. I am, not no surprise here. I do like some of Will Smith's music.
Yeah, Will Smith was cool. I heard somebody say he was corny earlier, but Will Smith, he was all right.
No, I'm saying
He
that people don't give him his recognition of what he did for hip hop.
he was an MC, and plus, yeah, he was trying to keep it clean. He was trying to try to do the good Samaritan rapper type of deal.
Right. He made it, but he helped the world look at a rapper in a different light. He also helped push more culture out there, like with the Fresh Prince. So with the outfits and the clothing and the gear that he was putting on the show, that they
He
had on
he
the show.
he helped keep parents cool with rap too. Like
Yes, yes, but no, like on some real stuff. When you think about, people don't give him like enough recognition. Like they'll say, "Oh, the greatest rappers." You got your Tupacs, your Biggs, and stuff like that. He's never on the list. But this fool had, for every movie, he had a hit song. you know, he had a hit song for every movie that he
shit,
came out with.
Nightmare on My Street was a hit. The
Yeah,
little Mike Tyson song was a hit. Parents
what?
Just Don't Understand was a hit. It was all,
Yeah,
man. He had a gang of hits. And
right.
Summertime. That's later on in
Some
his career.
man, right? But
Summertime was a super shit because it was
to this
playing.
day,
Man,
summertime is a hitter.
look,
like, man, that I said that's why I
clown
say
my man
people.
Will. Now,
He
now, now, he where he needs clowning is his little love. I ain't gonna say knees clowning, but where clowning is justified is his more recent love life
his
and
outbursts. You know what, bro?
yeah, that too.
I
That was
saw
a
that
big
as
hit.
I saw it as a nervous breakdown, because I think I see Will almost as a I see listening reading his book. I did to go back and read it because I didn't finish it, but reading his book, he reminds me of me, and it seemed like he was a pacifist too, and it seems like that. I feel like he completely lost it. I think he had all that bottled up from years and years and years,
But
and he getting torment, and then he fucking, and then he lost it. I
but
think
but
that's
but
what he did.
on little old Chris Rock though, man. Come on, man. That's the
He
wrong.
he.
That,
I
that, that
think
was
right.
oh.
It's little old Chris Rock, but then it's like Chris Rock might not like that kind of you. You describing him as little old Chris Rock as if he can't
Well,
defend
really,
himself.
yeah.
We
He
don't know.
probably
Chris Rock
probably a
probably
little
could have whooped his ass.
real for
We
real
don't
shit.
know.
I think he's from the hood too.
Right.
What you call it? Brooklyn or Bed Stuy, whatever the
Right.
fuck you from. He ain't just no buster. I don't think
Right.
so.
We don't
But
know.
he's still little compared to Will though.
Right, but we don't know what he could do, so we can't downplay him. You know what I'm saying? You can't downplay the next man. The man could be short, skinny, tall, and whoop your ass.
Nah, I feel like he probably could have put hands because it seemed like like whatever he just try to keep hold it together
Yeah,
and try to make
his
make a joke out
brother,
of it.
his brother said he could have put hands on him.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
I don't know
believe
if
he
you
probably
watched the
could.
clip. I don't know if you watched the clip. If you look at the clip,
I
it looks
lost
like
it.
yeah. If you watch it slowly, it looks like Chris was about to ball up and swing, but then he held himself back.
Yeah, he kept a little reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big movie head too. I'm big on especially older movies. I'm a movie. I'm a movie.
Yeah, I'm always bringing up some damn movie scenes or TV or some
Oh,
some
yeah.
little scene or something. If it
Man.
fits with the actual situation.
I love my movies. Me and my wife, she used to play this trivia where they would ask me. She would trip out how many questions I was able to answer on this random stuff, even stuff like Toy Story. Like actually, like, I'll be knowing Toy Story answers.
Right on.
Like I'm big on movies, man. But y'all finna get off this thing, man. I gotta go.
Yeah,
go to my other job.
That's cool. We can close this out real quick. All right. So, once again, I want to thank y'all for checking out another episode. Fit the description. I definitely appreciate it. I know this one was kind of weird because we had a bunch of people come on. Hold on. Wait. Whoa. Hold on. What?
Go with your daddy.
Oh, G, I'm sorry. Let me put you on mute.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. I'm like, oh man, that threw me off. Anyways, real quick. So,
who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?
So, anyways, I want to thank y'all for checking out another episode of Fit the Description podcast. I definitely appreciate it. I want to sit down and think, because there's a lot of people I got to think on. Let me go to the list, because there's a lot of people that are on here tonight. I want to thank James. I want to thank Ella Cool Pat. I want to thank Keys. I want to thank B. I want to thank Norris for all being on here. I know none of y'all were on here at the same time, but thank y'all for coming on when you can. Also, make sure to check out the Clips channel. We definitely are going to have clips, at least 2 clips a week. January, we're going to have a lot more. Also, remember, in January, we're also going to start working on the Patreon. So hopefully that starts working out. So if you want exclusive content, go there. Also, check us out on the Wisdom app. We're now there, and we ask random people questions. So you can send your questions there, and I'll try to have random people throughout the day answer them. And other than that, I want to thank y'all, appreciate y'all, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good night.
Peace out.